Hello everyone! This is Vinyl and Paper, where I talk about vinyl records and stationery. I have my Mocha Pot Americano with me here. That will keep me company. It's my third coffee of the day. It is cold. It is very cold. I live in New York, where the lowest it gets usually is maybe in the low 20s or so. And it is presently 13 degrees outside. And this morning, when I left to run a couple of errands, it was 10. So I really suited up, and it actually wasn't too terrible. But tonight/tomorrow, there's supposed to be a snowstorm with several inches of snow. The estimate keeps moving around. I'm not sure. But everyone here, at least, and in many other states I saw, are freaking out, trying to prepare. So if you're affected by this storm, I hope everyone does okay and you have everything you need. So this morning, over my other two coffees, I spent some time on planner and journal catch-up. It was one of those really busy weeks where I worked long hours. I got home, fed the cats, fed myself, cleaned up, and then by then I was like having to go to bed in order to get up early the next day to do the whole thing again. So this morning I had a nice, calm, cozy time catching up in my life log, not really my planner, because that's forward thinking, and then my one line a day journal, using mostly these two pens, the Pilot Kakuno, which I got for Christmas, I'm really liking, and the Zebra Sarasa Marcon, which I've used for years. So, okay, let's see, what are we talking about today? The vinyl topic is this. I got a new record in the mail this week, and we're going to unbox it together and look at it. And the other topic is about junk journaling. And it basically... junk journaling, that'll be in the title of this video. You probably saw already. It's not really a term that I have ever really used, but in my understanding, the practice that I've been doing for a while, a lot of people refer to as junk journaling. Mine looks a little differently because I don't have necessarily the same goal with picking up clippings and gluing them into my journals over time as some of the people who do really beautiful junk journal spreads or have a specific journal just for it do, but it's a similar behavior. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that and show you all of these clippings and snippets that I've amassed over a couple of years that I've been putting off pasting into my journals. And I'll show you what some past junk journaling activity of mine has looked like. But before that, I'm going to do, usually I start with the stationery talk, but today I'm going to start with the record because I'm really excited about it and I just want to open it already. This showed up a couple of days ago. I forgot that I ordered it because I did it while I was on a trip and things were pretty hectic. So let's start here. And my phone is really on its last legs. It's about to die. It's almost out of space. The battery drains really fast. I've had technical difficulties filming. I film with my phone. So if that happens, I'll have to refilm this and we won't see this really true unboxing, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna make sure I don't accidentally pull out the packing slip with all my info in it. Okay, I have to use a blade for this. It wasn't enough to just tear that little perforation off, but I'm prepared. Okay, it's really a reveal. Okay, this is the back. Let's get this cardboard out of the way. Here we are. Okay. Great. Nice. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't read a lot about it before buying the actual physical record, so I didn't know if it would be a gatefold or a trifold or whatever, but it seems like it's a straightforward just jacket with the record inside. Maybe it's just one. So this is a band called Wretched, and the album is called Decay. This came out, I think, in October, around then. So Wretched is a band from North Carolina. They are melodic technical death metal or melodic technical deathcore. I've seen both. I love the melodic and technical parts together. So the melodic part for me, lots of harmonies and things like that. Wretched, a lot of Wretched's work is in minor keys. And I'm going to talk about two quick things about the melodic and the technical parts. So key signature, it really tells you the composition of notes in the song. It's a way of arranging notes along specific scales. And minor key can make music sound moody, emotional, a little bit sad. It's my absolute favorite key type or type of key signature. I swear any single song in minor key, I will like it. It could be polka, it could be country, it could be hip hop, it could be death metal. I'm guaranteed to love it. It's just a sound and an arrangement of notes that I've always gravitated towards. Then the technical part is, it's more about the time signature of the song. The time signature tells you about the rhythm. It tells you how to count the beat. A really straightforward one is 4. The Ramones, a lot of the Ramones work is in 4. It's very steady. It's very predictable. Like there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 repeat count. Technical time signatures, or when music is called technical, it's more complex and unexpected rhythms, often fast. And so these two together, minor key / melodic and technical, culminate in this intense, dramatic listening experience for me. Some other bands in the metal or metal adjacent space that combine these two things that I love include Gojira. Now they're from France. They have a lot of technical rhythms underneath their really heavy riffs. Opeth is another one. Opeth is one of my favorite bands. They are progressive metal. They have occasional shifts in time that can be hard to follow if you're keeping time with the beat while you're listening to their music. And then another one I really like is Dillinger Escape Plan. They're a band that's kind of famous for their chaotic, mathy infused style. And thinking about math-fueled music, being chaotic together, kind of stretches my brain. And it's a great combination. So Wretched merges or combines those two elements a lot, the melodic part, the minor key, and the technical parts, and that's why I love them. Their music is really, really beautiful. It's brutal music, make no mistake, but everything comes together so perfectly for me. An album of theirs that I really love is called Cannibal, and my favorite song of theirs, and these are just, if any of this sounds intriguing to you, check out an album called Cannibal, or check out a song called 6, The Exodus of Autonomy. 6 is in Roman numerals, and that's on an album of the same name, The Exodus of Autonomy. So anyway, I'm really excited for this record. When I heard that they were coming out with a new one, they haven't had one in a while, so I was stoked. And I intentionally did not listen to this at all. I want the first time I hear it to be on vinyl, and I want to sit in front of my record player, put it on. I won't do the vinyl journal. I just want to sit in front of there with the materials and look through everything and really, really listen to it. Also, because I heard that this is a concept album and is supposed to be a prequel to an album that they had in 2010 called Beyond the Gate. And I read this in a review of the album. And in the review, it says there's no shortage of groove, heaviness, speed, melodicism, prettiness, and sadness. Oh my gosh, that is a perfect combination for me. So I'm so excited to listen to this. I read some quotes from an interview with them and about the concept album part of it. It seems like this album really tells a whole story. So if there are lyrics in here, I'm definitely going to sit down with the lyrics and listen to them and just go on this journey with them. I'm not usually a lyrics person, so I'm kind of glad I read that so that I can pay attention and make sure to get the full experience of what it's all about. So this is the front of the album. Here is the back. Okay, so it looks like it follows this mountain theme on the back, and this little logo down here says Metal Blade. This was released on Metal Blade, which is a really great metal focused record label. I thought I had a lot more Metal Blade records in my collection, but it turns out it's just the three Amon Amarth records that I have, and man, I adore them as well. They are also very melodic. So, yep, it looks like there's one disc, and let's go ahead and open this up. This hype sticker says Flesh and Blood, metallic silver with red marble. So Flesh and Blood is the name of this variant of this pressing. There were different variants. I'm currently opening this with a little blade. There are different variants in different regions I saw. So there was another variant for UK buyers, and the US one is this Flesh and Blood color, which you will see looks pretty gnarly. So let's take everything out. All right, so first we have this portrait of the band, and actually this is a good time to mention, I know the bassist. His name is Drew, and we met years ago, maybe 25, 26 years ago. He was roommates with a friend of mine, and I was over at their place pretty regularly, so I saw him a lot. He's a super nice guy, and I saw him at a couple of metal shows back in the day. I haven't seen him in many years. I don't know, COVID just kind of disrupted the natural rhythms of some of the social stuff that I used to do. And then, his roommate, my friend, moved away. So I'm not sure if he's still in New York. But again, the band's from North Carolina. The weird, very me thing, if you know me, about this is that, I knew Drew. I knew he was a metal fan. I knew he was in a band. I knew this band, Wretched, but I had no idea he was in this band until maybe a year ago. I was like looking up their music because I wanted to put on that 6 song I told you about. And I saw him in the band photo on YouTube Music, which is the service I use. And I was like, whoa, oh my God, it's Drew. That's the band. Like, it just all clicked for me, and I felt really kind of silly. So anyway, super nice guy, great bassist. All right, so it looks like these are lyrics. The track listing is here. Okay, it's all lyrics. So yes, I will be sitting with this. They're very tiny, so with my bad eyesight, I will be holding it quite close to my face. And then on the back here, we have a quote, and looking. These sort of look like lyrics too, so I'm a little not sure. Let's look at the track listing here. I don't know. This might be like liner note fiction. We'll see. I will let you know. I'm not used to showing you all a record without having done a ton of research on it first, or like reading all of the pieces. So this is a new experience for me. But I'm also going to check this out really quick. It's very, very tiny print. Okay, these are like the liner notes, the thank yous, the dedication, the band members, and who wrote what or who played what. Here's the actual disc. It's in, okay, I like this. I like it when records come in an inner sleeve that has this like plasticky lining, because it is better on the record when you're pulling it in and out. Usually I have to replace, if it's just paper, I replace it with my own inner sleeve to kind of protect the life of the record. And oh wow, that is a gorgeous pressing or variant. Really, really pretty. The swirliness of the colors. Now the fact that it's called Flesh and Blood is, yep, very gnarly. That's Flesh and Blood, all right. I love that the sides are labeled clearly. That was side A, this is side B. I like that these labels on the discs are very, like they have the same, maybe even the same imagery, but different colors. And man, this disc is so pretty. It's very swirly. It almost looks like clouds. I like the pop of yellow over here and here. So it's not just that flesh and blood. There's some of the gray, which fits with this mountain imagery on the album art. Wow, gorgeous. I doubt they'll ever see this video, but congratulations, guys. This is a beautiful, beautiful artifact. Excited to spin it. I will do that later. I'll put it on at the end of the video and do my whole listening experience then. So if anything I mentioned about their music sounds intriguing to you, check this album out too, brand new. And then in here, there's a little insert, and on the other side, there's a digital download code, which is great because I've been wanting to carry my music around not streaming, like actually have the files, and maybe see if I can power up one of my old iPods to do that and like get off my phone, because if I touch my phone, I will be in the rabbit hole as we do. So anyway, Wretched, Decay, super excited. I haven't bought a new record in quite a while, so yeah, I wanted to treat myself and support the band. Okay, now junk journaling. As I mentioned, junk journaling is kind of the practice of picking up and collecting ephemera, slips, scraps from life, and putting them all, arranging them in a journal or a book. Some people have dedicated junk journaling books that then they do a flip through when they're finished with them. I love watching those videos. Like I said, I've never really called it junk journaling myself. I've never really called it anything. Like, if anything, snippets and clippings are the words I've used, because I will save something that I've acquired and then tape it into my whatever book I'm using at the time. So I thought it might be fun to see a little bit of what this looked like for me when I first started doing it. So this is a sketchbook / journal / school notes / junk journal / scrapbook from the first time I started doing this in 2004. So this is from 2004. I was flipping through it earlier, and wow, I was really struck by how much my style of just documenting things has changed over the past, when was that, 22 years. Everything in here is very frenetic, chaotic, no rhyme or reason, no organization. I used a million different pens, and I actually would bring this with me everywhere, to bars, to school. And there's a lot of stuff written in here by other people. Like I kind of semi-remember, like someone would be like, oh, can I write a note in there? And they would write like something to me. So it was almost like a yearbook as well. Really fascinating to flip through this. Like, again, super struck by how chaotic it all was. Like, I wasn't expecting that at all. So some fun things I found. Look at this mess. I mean, this I remember was a disposable fountain pen, this purple, that you could get at like a office supply store. Looks like I have some sketches in here. There's no junk journaling in here, but I thought this was so funny and wanted to show it in particular because I used to make websites by hand manually, like in a text edit file and uploading through a file transfer, an FTP server. And here I'm planning some website with frames. If you remember frames, like, please let's be friends. And me writing the hex codes of the colors I wanted to use and the like size of the different frames. Like, it's just, oh my gosh, I got a kick out of seeing that. Here's another one, just a random tree that I printed out and like glued in. I don't really remember what that was for or what I was doing. Here's yet another one. This is like a cocktail napkin, or I think from a diner where someone was teaching me how to read binary code. And then this brown I have seen throughout the sketchbook. It is the whatever adhesive I used to glue things down aged this way. I think it might have been rubber cement, because I remember using rubber cement a lot during that time. This is a double page spread of, I used to read Adbusters a lot, so this might be from Adbusters, but I remember seeing this and thinking it looked like this photo that I had taken of a plastic chair that someone obliterated and like left in their yard. Then let's see what else we have. More clippings. Again, this might be from Adbusters, I don't know, but I've always loved imagery of like objects strewn about a table. So here we have like a phone and a coffee. I would definitely cut that out today. And then here's another one. This is just like, I don't know, rain on a window. And on this other page, I totally forgot about image maps. This was something in websites that allowed you to map out an image, like different parts of an image, and have each part like click through to a different part of the website. So the way that it worked is you would have an image and you would have to figure out basically the pixel coordinates of each shape you wanted to link out. And it looks like I was planning a website for a record label, and I was going to have like these separate sections, artists, audio, news, shows, click out to different pages. So yeah, going through this again, 2004 was a total trip. I don't really know what to make of it. Like, I have a very different approach now. So let me show you a little bit about now, like where I put these things now, these clippings. I won't really flip through them because there was enough personal stuff on each page that I couldn't really realistically blur it out without it taking ages. So this I've shown before. This is a knockoff Hobonichi Cousin that I got last year to pilot the system to see if I liked it. And I'm just looking at what's in here. Oh, I think I've shown that stuff before in a previous video. But as you can see, I've used this as a junk journal, like place to put clippings. Like here's a coffee bag of coffee that a friend got me, beans, like part of a paper bag and stuff. And then this is my journal in a composition book. You can see that I've like glued things in here too as I've gone and as I've picked things up. So I kind of alternate. I like to just put it in my journal. Now that I don't have something like this, I'll probably just keep putting it in my journal. However, I also found, I knew that I had another sketchbook like that other old one that was like partially filled, and I was like, oh, maybe I can put some of the bigger clippings in there because I have a few quite big items. And then when I opened it, I noticed that this is where I did the Artist's Way program. Maybe I'll talk more specifically about the Artist's Way a different time, but the Artist's Way is like a self-guided, structured program that it's a book that you can do to kind of rediscover your creative self and start creating again. I went through that program during a kind of tough part of my life, and apparently this is where all my notes were. I thought that I had done the program in one of these, but it's all in here. So look, this is an example of how you saw the frenetic writing in my old sketchbook, and this is way more like organized and laid out. I have a couple of scraps like pasted in here. Not really, I don't really remember what that's about. And then here's another one. Like these are just some postcards that I received a few years ago that I wanted to save, and like very organized, very aligned. I meant to write notes in here, but again, I've been like putting this kind of collection and clippings off enough that I have like actually a couple of years worth, and I'll show you some of the clippings that I have. So I've been collecting them in different containers and bags and pouches. The stuff in here is mostly from a trip to Austin that I took with my partner a couple of years ago at this point. And I have to get better about this practice, you all, because as I was looking through this, I couldn't remember what some of this stuff was. And so I can't really write about them. Like this was a wristband for a show, but I don't remember what show it was. So do I include it? I don't even know. This is a tag that was on a piece of clothing that I bought that I thought was extremely cool. So I will be pasting that in, or taping that in. These two are other wristbands that I don't remember, like what the shows were. I actually think I know what this one was because the venue is on there. But again, I'm not sure. Here we have a Blanton Museum of Art ticket. This is in Austin from that trip. Really amazing art museum. I was blown away by the art scene in Austin. The art, I just loved it. Here's a sticker from a show that we went to in Austin. Artist called Lauren Lackus. I thought this sticker was, maybe I'll put it on one of my new planners journals. This was a list of restaurants that the two ladies in the gift shop of this place were recommending to us. They were super nice, and we ended up going to this one, Ezov. This restaurant, if you're in Austin, is freaking delicious. This was one of the best meals we had, although all of the food there is great. Next to the Blanton Museum, there's an Ellsworth Kelly entire room. It's called Austin. It's like its own little chapel. These are stained glass, and then the light coming in when you're in. This is just an incredible experience. Highly recommend. This was a name tag from a zero waste picnic that I went to, I guess around this time, but it was here. And then this is a brochure or guide on an exhibit that we went to also in Austin by an artist called Carl Cheng. This exhibit blew me away. His art is so mind-blowing and so varied. It was a bunch of installations. Some of them had electronic components in them. Some of them, a lot of nature. Like I remember one tiny room that was full of avocado pits, like treated in different ways. Like he made entire machines. This artist, I'm glad I'm looking through this now because I forgot to follow up to see where else he's showing or just look at more of his catalog online. But really incredible. And then this little bag is from a trip to Berlin that we took last year. And I went to my cousin's wedding there. So there's some things from the wedding, like these glow sticks that I'll be gluing down. That's like a brochure from some jewelry I bought. Train tickets, I believe. A ticket from Hamburger Bahnhof, which is another museum I highly recommend. We went to Fotografiska, which is a photography forward museum, but there was all kinds of art there when we went. The DDR museum ticket, this was one of my favorite parts of the trip and made me really, really interested in that era of history in East Germany. The brochure from Hamburger Bahnhof and what was on at the time. And then this was a list that a really lovely bar and museum owner of the Ramones Museum in Berlin wrote down for us of recommendations of where to go. And we took at least 2 of his recommendations. Flo, you will probably never see this video, but we still think about you. You are the coolest. Okay, and so what I'm going to do today is figure out, they'll probably go in here, and I'll be gluing them down. It was really useful to see the adhesive that I used in here over that many years. Everything when I was flipping through this was basically falling out. So I want to be really intentional about what I use to paste these things down. Like, I love washi tape like any stationery fan probably does, but washi tape doesn't hold greatly. I also had a glue stick, but I'm definitely not going to use that because it's just not going to stay. So I think I might just use normal tape. This has probably the highest likelihood of staying. However, maybe that's kind of okay if the adhesive wears over time, because it's not like I'm, you know, having a museum exhibit or anything of opening these journals and having people look through them. So it might be okay if it fades and things are falling out, because seeing that aging over time, like physically, is kind of part of the memory of like the very rare times that I go through these things. So to be determined, I don't know. Here's a sticker from Ushuaia, which is Fin del Mundo, the end of the earth, basically. It's in Argentina. I met this wonderful couple at one of the exhibits I went to, and they gave me this sticker from their home, which was just so nice. And then finally, here is a bag from Pittsburgh that held a gift that a friend gave me. I'm going to cut this out and glue it down because I like the design. And then the last thing I guess I'll show is this was the gift. It is, look, it's kind of like metal themed coffee. And I thought this was so thoughtful because this friend we met in a local metalheads community that we're both in. We do all kinds of fun activities together. I went to her wedding, and she knows how much I love coffee, and like bought me this when she went to Pittsburgh, and I thought that was so sweet. And the coffee was delicious, by the way. It is what I made my Americanos with today. This coffee was a dark roast, which is my absolute favorite kind. Oh, I just noticed that my heater kicked on because, remember, it's like 13 degrees. I hope it doesn't add too much noise, but we're almost done. We're wrapping up. So actually, I'll just turn it off. One sec. Okay, the heat is off. Much better, probably. But like I said, we're almost done. Now, there's tons of stuff everywhere. I'm nearing the end. I'm going to cut this out. Or maybe I'll glue the whole bag in. I don't know. I do have entire bags of coffee taped into my journal and this like fake Hobonichi. And it's a really nice experience to open the book and like smell. You can still smell the coffee. So that's delightful. Maybe I'll keep it whole. But what I was saying before is that this is a dark roast, which is really, really, for me, hard to find from like a fancy like third wave coffee place. My experience has been that third wave coffee tends to lean more medium or light roast with like, I don't know all the terminology, but I personally love a dark, oily bean, and that's what this was. And I don't know if my friend knew that, but it was just very good luck that it happened to be metal themed coffee, which I love, and a dark roast. So Grim Wizard Coffee, y'all, if you're interested. So here we are. My table is full. I almost can't see the table. But so what I'm going to do now is I think I'm actually going to gather all this stuff into a pile for now. I'll do the junk journaling or clippings, collecting, pasting, I think later. I think the first thing I'm going to do is put this record on because I just can't wait. I'm so excited about this. So this is almost the end of the video. It was nice to chat with you today. This was a bit of a looser, like less structured one. So hopefully you like it. And let's go to the turntable. Put this on. All right. So first, we must remove this one. This is Hardwired to Self-Destruct by Metallica. I love this album. I might like talk about it sometime. But first order of business is Decay. So let's turn it on. This is a new slip mat that I haven't shown you before. I just felt like switching it out. Actually, I'll talk a little bit about that slip mat. So Metallica had for 2 years, I think, a vinyl club, And as a mega fan, I signed up for it. And basically, you would get sent something. I think it was 4 times a year, every quarter. And one of the things that they sent was a slip mat that says Black in 2020 on it with the Doris statue from Injustice for All. I love this treatment. I kind of forgot about this slip mat. So I recently switched that out. Anyway, back to the record. Let's make sure I have the right side. There we are. Let's get that volume so that you can hear the clicks and pops at the beginning, since that's like my favorite part, almost. The music's my favorite part, but I love that record noise. Ooh, nice and clean. All right, all. See you next time.